Oh, we live. Wow. What's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince Wise, the Hustle God, aka Chief Lo, the Madman, aka Michelangelo, the man of many names. And we reaching in our combat tool bag one more again. It is a cool black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, LDBC only, LDBC everywhere, LDBC versus everybody, LDBC or nothing. Do me a favor, family. Um, support my OG Black Fight Fan TV. Support my OG Condo Local Sports TV. Support Big Bro Opulent LD TV. Support the whole Usual Suspect 6. Support the whole LDBC, the TWT, and the Trilitary. That said, guys, I want to welcome y'all back to a Combat Tool Bag Combat Breakdown. Shout out to my man, TV. Appreciate you for coming through. I just wanted to warm y'all up. There's three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel, and um, be sideways, but it looks like it's going to be sideways when the guest arrives. I went live off a different device, so I assumed that it would just split it down the middle because it's a tablet, but it didn't work out that way. Today we have Chicago's own Coach Mark that'll be joining us specifically right at 2:30 our time, 1:30 Midwest time, I guess Central time. We're on the East Coast here, but we're gonna pick the brain just like we do in our combat breakdown interviews. We're gonna pick the brain of every fighter he's been involved with, if we can. Um, get just a little bit of insight on how to progress in this game if you'd like to be a coach, or if you like to be like Chicago's own Coach Mark. Um, I want to. At my last fight, I met Coach Mark right after I got out of the ring. He was giving me. Everyone gives you different type of pointers when you're in the ring and you step out. Everyone kind of has notes to give you or tips to give you, and they all should be taken in. I don't think every note or criticism is of equal weight, and I say that because when he gave me some notes right after I got out of the ring, he gave me shit that I didn't even think about, to be honest, guys. So he's a very skillful coach, very skillful man, and I'm be honored to interview him shortly. As you see in the thumbnail, he has pictures. He has a picture with Bud in this thumbnail. He has a couple pictures with Bud, a couple pictures with people like Guillermo Rigondeaux, fighters he's developed and brought up into uh, contention. So it's just going to be cool to, as I go through interviewing guys, fighters, coaches, promoters, managers, to just see the different levels of success that people have reached. Um, what's cracking with you, KB? Just do boxing in the building. Appreciate you stopping by, family. Appreciate you stopping by and checking in. Right at, again, guys, right at 2:30. So in precisely 1 minute, or maybe even a minute after that, we have our very special guest joining us. And again, we're going to talk everything from bringing up fighters to coaching and game plans, and who he is, how he got involved in the sport, things like that. So definitely be patient, hang on, bear with me, and we're going to give you guys a very special combat tool bag, combat breakdown. But everyone who's stopping in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the support. Please tap that like button if you can, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Um, and yeah, we're about to get active, as Bud said. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna check in on the guest. But again, with the combat tool bag, combat breakdowns, the goal of the show is to give not only the casual but the hardcore boxing fan insight in the sport, some jewels and gems, maybe secrets that people don't know unless they're industry insiders, uh, or this is their trade by profession. So any questions that you guys may have in the chat, that I don't get to, please, by all means, throw questions in the chat. We'll try to get to them as we can. My co-host is out right now. My co-host 94 Sun God. It's 94 Films on YouTube. The at is at 9475. Big Texas, what's cracking with you, family? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll be starting the interview shortly, guys. I just am taking care of the housekeeping items right now, setting the table so that we could all come here and eat. But just update you guys. My co-host, he's not here at the moment, but if he can, he'll be joining us part of the way through. We'll slide over and kind of give ground mid interview, and I have a list of questions to rack the coach's brain about, as well as my co-host will have a list of questions as well. And sorry for the extended introduction, guys. It's just trying to make sure we got everything ready on our end before our guest joins in. And speak of the devil, Chicago's own Coach Mark. I have a very special guest with me. A very special guest with me today, guys, and it is Chicago's own Coach Mark. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm at.
Yes, yes. We're absolutely glad to have you. He's just got out the gym, just so y'all know. So he's 10 toes down in these streets grinding. So Coach Mark, just to spark things off, who are you and where are you? Hey, Coach, are you still there?
Yes.
Good, good. Talk to us real quick. My follow up question is typically how did you get into boxing, but tell us how that Sam Tia fight went, and if you can, give us as much play by play as you can and what the game plan was. Well, before you get into how you got in the boxing, Coach, before you get into that, how did the Sam Tia fight go? Yes, and what was the plan? Right. Hey, Coach, you're starting to break up a little bit. If you can go back to the push, yeah, you said the way off. Yeah, I got you. You said the way in, it got a little tense, and then there was a push. Hey, Coach, 1 second, real quick. I apologize to keep interrupting. Is there a way you can go into a more Wi-Fi friendly area? We're getting a lot of glitching on. You froze up on my end, and if you could just up the volume just a little bit, we're having a hard time hearing you as well.
Okay, okay. Can you hear me a little bit better?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here at Taylor Park Gym training, so it might be a little difficult out here.
You sound good. The picture's still broken up, but I hear you clear now.
Okay.
So right back to the push where you weigh in.
Yeah, it was a hard push. We took it personal. We took it in stride, but we took it personal. You know, you know, we know it's gamemanship in the sport, but he took it a little too far. So I told Chucky, don't even sweat it. Let's go out there and put the hands on him. Make it do what he do.
Uh-huh.
Can you still hear me good?
It broke up. I don't know if you're moving around right now, but favor and just try to jump off, like hit the X in the corner, and then try to hit the link again and join again.
Yep.
Join back in.
Okay.
You coach. Sorry about the in and out, guys. We're just having a little bit of connection issues. Join in, drop out and then join back in. I do apologize for that. And let's see. Man, goddamn.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. You're and you told him to stick to his game plan. Continue on from there.
Yeah, so it got us a little tense. So the main thing was to not let it offset us, not let him get outside of what we intended to do, which was put pressure on him, touch his body. We didn't want a dog fight. I wanted him to fight a smart fight. Use vision, use his footwork, touch him when he wanted to, fight when he wanted to, and move when he wanted to. So we stayed on plan. Chucky stayed on plan. We touched Sam's body early, and I knew that was going to be critical because he was coming off a big win, and but I wasn't too sure that his body would hold up to the attack. So we put that attack in, touch his bodies with the left hook to the body, straight jab to the body, even right hands to the body, and I could see his hands starting to wear down. He started to wear down, and when he wore down, instead of sticking to the body, we changed up and we started boxing a little bit. When we started boxing, Sam started shadow boxing. He was missing everything. He was missing 3-punch combos. When he got to that point, I knew it was over. So I told Chucky, next round, he was a little hard head. I said, we're gonna roll now. Throw the right hand straight, you'll get him out of there. That was about the 6th round. He wouldn't throw it straight. He kept throwing it forward, which was a right hook. Now, usually he was throwing the forward, he was throwing it right, wham. But he was looking for it because you hit him with it so much. I said, throw it straight, man. He's ready for the straight right hand. But I told Chucky I had a dream that he knocked him out with the forward. So he's still going off my dream, hitting him with the forward. I had to get on him a little bit. I said, man, if you don't throw that right hand straight, don't come back to this corner. He threw the right hand straight, sat him down, and when he got back up, just like my dream, he finished him off with a forward.
Woo! Money. So in your films you had to make on your end, you're studying of the opponent to the body. Did part of the heavy puncher, so we're gonna go head, body, head, and break them down.
But no, even though he looked the part as far as his body, every time I seen him get hit to the body, I seen him react. I could tell he was hurt. So he didn't really show it on the film I was looking. But as a fighter, I know when a body shot hurt somebody, he would kind of move away or he would clinch up after a body shot. I said, oh, he can't take a left hook to the body.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a lot of game film.
Excellent, man. You're just off of that level of perception. You're a high level coach. So now, how did you get into boxing?
Man, I got into boxing really like right after high school. I started kind of late, even though I started doing boxing early. Playing around. I never took it serious until after high school, and I was getting a little fat because I was a football player. I played for my high school, so I was getting a little fat. I said, let me go into the gym to get back in shape. So I was working out every Saturday, once a week, every Saturday in 1988, working out every Saturday. And the guys start coming in to get ready for the Golden Gloves. So I'm working out probably about 8 months. So the guys come in, they getting ready for the Golden Gloves, and I sparred a kid that had won the Golden Gloves. So he hit me with a 1-2. I was like, okay, that was kind of hard. Uh, I heard it was, I had never sparred another amateur. So I was like, okay, that hurt. So I was like, let me try it. So I threw a 1-2 at him, and he fell on his knees and fell on his face. And so from that point, instead of training one day a week, they opened up, stayed an hour late so I could train every day. So the next year, they put me in the gloves. I stopped everybody. I fought in the gloves. Uh, Next year, won 125 Open Chicago Golden Gloves, and it just snowballed from there. I got to train with different pros, go across the country, go across the world. It was just a blessing for me.
Man, you you started off from the jump just dropping shit. That's some next level shit. But how did we get from to Coach Mark now today? What was that transition like, starting off fighter and then being a coach? And what's the difference? Like, how, first things first, how did you become a coach? And what was that transition like for you? What are the
Oh,
differences?
good question. That's a great question. Great question. You taking me back, man. You got me reminiscent. I started working. I got married, so I'm working now after boxing. I didn't turn pro. I got a job and I'm working at Harris Bank, BMO Harris Bank. So, but I'm going to different gyms just to spar, just to stay in shape. So I go into this gym, Harvey Boxing Club, and I'm working. So they asked me to move around with some of the kids, and they didn't know my background. I'm just keeping low profile. I'm just working. So I worked with the kids, and they couldn't touch me. And it was a good program, but I'm slipping, I'm moving, I'm making sure I don't hurt the kids. I'm just slipping, good defense, and the parents, they were watching, and even though it was a winning program, the kids were getting beat up. You couldn't tell who was the winner. They just out hustled. So they said our kids need to learn how to do what you're doing. So I was like, I'm not a coach. I'm just, working out to stay in shape. But, it just became evident after I'm working with the kids, they were picking up stuff and they went from winning to dominating. And I was
Mm,
like, so they put me on the payroll and I started coaching.
hey, it's IQ. So when you're working with these kids at that level, they're seeing things, and you're elevating their game in ways that their coaches couldn't. I'm just sliding over because okay, cool. My co-host will be joining us soon, and he'll have some
Okay.
extra questions. And just so you know, Coach, we're you'll obviously be speaking to the people who are interviewing you, myself and my co-host. We can relate on many levels because we're fighters and coaches ourselves. So
Excellent.
when you talk about educating these kids, like the kids that I worked with and work with at Third Ave Boxing Gym and here in Pittsburgh, I show them certain things that I'll be honest, like when I try to execute, it's like it's not there. But when I give it to them, I give them something.
Yeah.
They're dominating tournaments. There's this girl Trinity. She stopped a girl with a setup that I gave her. I ain't gonna give it away because it's a setup that I use a little bit.
I
So
heard about
I
that. Believe it or not, I heard about that. This Coach Stu just told me about her.
you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, these kids that like it's the same effect that you had when you're working with them and you're showing them things that their coaches just aren't showing them because they want you to outwork someone, they want you to outwill someone. They're not giving you the nuances of the sport. And whether or not we could execute that at the highest level of the sport is virtually irrelevant because we can pass that knowledge on to someone who possibly can do it at the highest level of the sport. So a it was beautiful that they were able to see just from a boxing perspective that your high IQ can we can use that. And then B, they put your ass on a payroll and prove to you that we can use that. So that's
Absolutely.
excellent. That's excellent to hear. How would you describe your style and your approach to boxing as a coach? What there's everyone has their own style. Hence, like the thumbnail, Bomac has his own style of coaching. Derek James has his own style of coaching. Everyone has their own school of thought. How would you characterize your school and process or approach to boxing?
Oh, beautiful. I mean, these good questions, man. Great questions. Well, for the most part, I fight a Midwestern style of boxing. We do a lot of catch and roll, but my strength is footwork. But
Yes.
I try to build around the fighter. You know, not everybody can move like Floyd, not everybody can move like Ali, but they can still move. And
All right.
most of our fighters, they have fast feet, they have good escape speed, but nobody teaches them how to use it. They teach them, like Ed Harvey, for example, they were teaching them go straight ahead. He throw 3 punches, you throw 6 punches. And
Yes.
so what I brought to the game was, you score, then you eliminate their opportunity to score. So whether it's a distance move or whether it's an angle move, you take away their opportunity and you do it enough.
Or a tie up.
Exactly.
Nullify, return fire.
Exactly. Exactly. And really, that's my strategy. Make them miss, make them pay. Take as little damage as possible.
The
Yeah.
art of boxing. Hit, not get hit. Stick and move.
You
I
preaching
love it.
right there. I
I love
think
it. No, you preaching, coach. I'm just reiterating. I'm just echoing you. Excellent, excellent. What are some of your dreams, goals, and expectations from the sport? You already are achieving a lot of that. You have professional fighters in heavy contention. You have amateur fighters in heavy contention. Oh, and salute everybody who's coming through. I apologize if and also if there's any questions that pop up in the chat that you want to address, be like, hold on, man. I see this question. I gotta address this. You feel me? But salute, and I'm gonna wrench my man's up. But yeah, what are some of your expectations, your goals that you have from the sport of boxing?
my main expectation is I want to get the best out of the fighter. I'm not trying to make them replications of any of the other fighters. I look at the individual and I want them to be the best that they can be so that even when boxing is over, I've given them tools that they can use um, in their everyday life, whether they're a professional fighter or whether they work at Walmart or Target, that I expect them to be on time. I expect whatever I give them to do it to the best of their ability. And my main thing is never quit because you're never out of anything unless you quit. So those are my main things and I want to see good human beings. Once it's all done and said and done, I want people to say, Coach, cheers, help me be a better human being.
See that last part again. The last part was muted. We heard everything clear.
Okay, but I said my final expectation and everything is said and done when my funeral is being spoken over. I want them to say, Coach Cheers made me a better person.
Mm, Coach, is
That's
there?
some perfect to walk in.
Yes, perfect to walk in on, right?
Yeah.
Coach, a, there's a pattern I've been realizing. There's a consistency in what I consider good coaches as a selfless nature. Every time I interview a coach, their vision is for their fighters to be the best they can be, whether it's in the ring or outside of the ring. Is that a is that a essential quality in being a good coach?
Yeah, I believe it has to be. That's something that good coaches should have. And you'll see for the most part, all good coaches have that. It's not about us because, you're sacrificing your home life, your job life. You might be taking flack from your wife or your kids, but all in an order to help somebody else fulfill a dream that's not even your dream. And so
Right.
you have to be selfless to help somebody make their dream come true. And sometimes, in a lot of cases, overlook your own dreams.
And in a way, to piggyback off what you just said, Coach. Do you feel like a lot of coaches? That's why. Do you feel like a lot of coaches they feel like they have to protect their fighter too? Not in the sense of like, you know, with fights, but just from the public, from just scrutiny, just everything. Do you feel like that good coaches have that mean side to them, where it's like they want to protect their fighter from any scrutiny, any doubters, from
Harsh
doubt from
criticism.
themselves, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I believe so. For me, I try to prepare them mentally for what they're going to face. Everybody loves a winner, but I let them know one day you're going to lose, and when you do, or if you do, the same people that were with you, you're gonna have a small crowd. You'll have maybe even a quarter of those people that were there, if you lucky. So I tell them to be true to themselves, and the main thing we can do is prepare them for the hard part of life. Everybody can be uh, when things are going good, when you're winning, and everybody is around. That's one thing. But when you lose, or not even lose, if you have a fight where you didn't look your best, people begin to criticize you. So I instill in them that no matter where you are a champion inside. No matter what anybody says about you, you've got to know for yourself that you're a champion, that nobody can take it away. And I let them know they didn't have any part in building you, so you shouldn't let them have a part in taking it away from you. And so
Yes,
you be
sir.
Mm,
there. Yeah.
valuable, valuable. That was some gems right there, man. I would clap
Absolutely.
if I could, but I'm trying to host the show.
It's just
Hey,
that's my bad, bro.
oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, so just so you guys know, stay in the shot. Just so you guys know, my co-host here is not for Sun God, Opulent LD. If you could drop in the chat, bro's link to his channel. Please subscribe to 94 Films and 94 Film 75 on YouTube. But if you could drop that link in the chat, thank you very much. Quick question, Coach.
Yeah.
Um, yes. So you about hard times in your explanation there, your answer there. Do you have any stories coming up in the game that were um, hard learned lessons that you could only learn from the experience of being in it or being there in the sport? And how did that change you? Whether it was a story from when you were a fighter and you had to learn something about fighting, and how did that change you? Or whether it was a story about when you were coaching and it was a hard learned lesson from coaching and it changed you.
Yeah. Well, I'll say maybe 2 fights ago, my fighter Alex Martin, he fought a guy Joseph Ruiz. He was from South America. I forget which country, but in South America. On paper, he looked like a steak dinner. It looked like we were supposed to dominate Joseph, and he looked like a knockout to me. It looked like a steak dinner with a potato and a salad.
I feel it.
But as the fight went on, the kid, he had little subtle moves that even though it looked like it was a clear shot, looked like he was ready to catch a clear right hand, left hook, or Alex Southpaw left hand, right hook, he would kind of roll it, and he never could get a real solid blow off of him. And even though he dominated, it took a lot out of him. It took a lot out of me because I was frustrated. I'm like, he's there, hit him. I'm like, drop your butt because he's dropping down. He sees you tall, so he's dropping down. I said, you got to drop your butt so you can get down with him. And he couldn't figure that out. Yeah,
Oh,
he couldn't
preach. Sorry.
he couldn't get him to drop low enough to land those clean shots. And for me, it was frustrating. So, I trying to keep it together in the corner because I know if I lose it, then it's gonna throw him all off.
Oh,
And not every fighter responds the same way. Some fighters, you yell at them and they fix it. Well, he was a fighter. He was cerebral. You couldn't yell at him because it'd throw him off. So I had to constantly try to communicate, and we still got the win, but like we should have did better. And so it's one of those situations where you don't get down on yourself. You look at what went wrong, and then you graduate.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't able to drop down, that was something I should have been working on in training. I should have saw that he would get too low enough to make that hook miss. So I start working on different things. Start working on drills where we sitting down in the chair and hooking. And you just got to figure things out that work for your individual fighter. So that took me to another level.
Game as well.
Wait a minute, it broke up a little bit.
Type of fight to elevate your game and also the fighter's game as well. So we always hear about the fighter needed this type of fight, or they need a step of fight, but it's not, I guess, only about the fighter. It's about the entire team. The coaches as well pretty much need the same experience, if you will.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey man, I have a question. What separates you from the rest of the pack? Now we talked a little bit about your style and your approach to boxing, but there are a number of different do the same thing. What what do you feel makes you special in your approach to coaching and your school of training different than that of someone else's?
Well, you know what, man, these are some good questions, man. Y'all need to be
We
on
try,
ESPN. Well, I think the thing that separates me is an understanding of people. I know that there are different things that motivate people, different things that frustrate people. And so I try to take the strengths of a person and build off of those. And I see their weaknesses, and I don't criticize them for their weaknesses, but we try to eliminate the weaknesses. I'm not one of those
mhm.
guys that it's my way or the highway. If you don't do it this way, then you're not one of my fighters. I know that everybody has different genetic makeups. Um, different people have longer arms, so everybody is not going to be uh, an exact replica, which is a dangerous thing because if all of your fighters are the same, once a coach figures out how to beat your fighter, he figured out how to beat your whole camp.
Yes,
So
sir.
I try to take each fighter and make an individual mold of them. Like this is you. This is what you do. Now I got a home base. My home base is a good jab. Stepping around, using your defense. But then some fighters I have, they use angles. Some fighters I have them use a pendulum where they're going back and forth because they have good return. Yep, there you go. Yeah, we use that a lot, and but not everybody can do it. So when you're looking at a fighter that I build, you're not going to be able to just concentrate on one thing and say this is how we're going to beat them. And I'm always going to adjust. I'm always looking to adjust from the first round on. I'm looking to adjust, take away weapons. So that this is my secret. I take away their main weapon. Say if their jab is their main weapon, I make it where they don't want to throw it anymore. Whether it's an overhand right, whether it's a slip uppercut or a slide in jab, I'm taking that weapon away. And once we take that weapon away, then we focus on the rest.
Oh, hey, we had a little glitch. I'm hoping that you were still good on your end, but if you could just read the end for us. But we're all still live, just so.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. Well, I say I always try to, when I look at another fighter across the ring, my main goal is to take away their main weapon. With their main weapon is the jab, whether it's the right hand, we're going to take that weapon away. And then they're operating off of their second level, their second strength. And then
Right.
we can dominate that second strength.
So I love the fact you said you embrace that one's unique. and you capitalize on their virtues to make them even more virtuous. So it it creates this amongst your camp that when people look at your fighters, they can't style because all you're doing is using what's instinctive and sharpening on those tools and canceling out the weaknesses. So that's beautiful to see. What is the big you can say you've made in boxing?
Man, that's a good question. The biggest mistake, I would say the biggest mistake is, from a personal standpoint, I don't do contracts. So my entire thought, even now, it's hard for me to do contracts because I'm like, if you don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with you. So let's keep it where, I try to make it as a family. And, family
Right.
don't need contract. My father doesn't need a contract to be my father. My son doesn't need a contract to be my son. So I try to go off of relationships. So I treat you, like my grandmother always said, treat people like you want to be treated. And that's my thing. The only thing in that is people want to always treat you like you treated them. And so you
Yeah.
lose a lot, you gain a lot, but you lose a lot. But in the end, I'm not doing it for the money. Money comes, money goes. I appreciate relationships because relationships, how you make people feel, is something they're going to always remember. They're going to lose the money. Money not going to always be there. It comes and goes, but those relationships um, are the things that last. So I wish I would have did contracts, but it's just not who I am. I wish I
Question.
was that guy.
Yeah.
I feel it. Question: How have you ever had to actually drop a fighter? Like, feel like
Mm.
you, whether y'all felt like y'all just personality wise, whether it felt like he just couldn't get what you was trying to teach him. Have you ever had to just let go of a fighter? Like, look, man, it's just not working out pretty much. You know what I mean?
Ooh, man, well, you know what? I'm in a rough situation right now with one of my fighters. I won't
Yeah.
say let go, but it comes a point where if things are repetitive behavior. When I see repetitive behavior, I'm like, okay, you're not looking to correct it. Because sometimes people will take advantage of your niceness, and in those situations, I have to let people go because once it becomes um, disrespectful, then you got to let it go. So,
Yeah.
as a man, you don't let people disrespect you. You have to maintain that level of respect because you got other fighters watching, you got your family watching. So, I always try to maintain that level of self-respect.
Right. As
So,
well as
but
industry insiders and promoters watching and stuff like that. So it's always a reflection on yourself how you conduct your own business. So
And
that's
like
a
you said too, like my fault, like you said too, like you give up your life, your family, wife at home may be mad, because you're sacrificing a lot for a fighter. For a fighter to be disrespectful or seem ungrateful, it's like I feel you in every way, shape, or form. Like, look, man, you gotta go where I gotta go. I'm not about to be,
yeah.
wasting my
man, you've
time.
been talking to my wife.
Hey man, I just know how my girl is, man.
Hey,
I just know how my girl is about this time stuff, man.
and I'm glad he asked this question though too, because
Oh, what's going on?
introduce us
Yeah,
to your man.
this who we're about to fight next.
New
This is
money.
Andrew Rogers.
Chuck the
Yeah.
champ.
Hey
Straight out
man,
of
we
Hip Hop.
sure.
Hey,
Train out the Windy
give us a
City.
plug real quick, brother. Tell us your name. Tell us the fight day. Tell us what we could expect from you.
Oh man, fight date is August 18th in Phoenix, Arizona. At
August
the
19th,
August 19th, Phoenix, Arizona, at the
Celebrity Theater.
Celebrity Theater.
Yeah.
8-round fight against Ladarius Miller. He getting stopped
Yes,
in six
sir.
rounds. It's going down. When it comes to the
Yeah.
whoop, I'm all toes. I'm all toes.
Oh
And he
man,
getting
beat him at
stepped
the
on.
feet. Beat
He
him
getting
at the
stepped
feet.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They judged me off my record, but I always said if I get somebody to work with me, these dudes in trouble. Now I'm under
Yes,
the
yes,
cheers.
sir. I love to
Oh
hear
man, I
that.
love your heart,
Hey,
man, and I love your mind, man. Shoot. If there's a way that we can stream it, because I know that some fights, you can stream. definitely send us the link so we can check it out and send it to the folk.
And I'm gonna get the information off of Coach. So after we're done, we can link your information and your coach's information in the description so that they can follow you and support you. And we'll be obviously up to date on August 19th. We're gonna get you on here though and interview you before August 19th so that we can help build that fight too. Because we got the LDBC with us, we got the TWT with us. There's a bunch of online communities as well as your own people who want to support you and be in your corner.
I'm excited.
So we're going to interview you as well. And I'm glad we have one of the sensei's students right here with us. So
right.
Will improve.
Yes,
but I got to. Oh, and thank you again for stopping by. We're going to get your information and get you on next week. Actually, we're going to do that.
All right. Appreciate it. Y'all stay up.
Thank you, and keep training hard, brother.
Man, I can't wait.
So I'm glad you asked that question because it related to hard times. Because if you have a difficult time with a fighter, it's relating to hard times. What keeps you committed through the hardest times in this sport? Everyone has highs and lows, but this sport seems to be full of lows for a lot of us. So what keeps you going through these dark times and keeps you committed in such a cutthroat sport or a business that's posing as a sport?
You know what? I know that even though I may have a relationship that's in doubt, there's always somebody else that's looking for what I have. So I don't have time to get down on myself or get down because that relationship didn't pan out. I got all these other people just relying on me to be strong. And so you have to, if you can't be strong for yourself, you got to be strong for those that's coming up under you. And so you'll find that strength. You'll find that go, that go, get up and go. And when you love those people, you'll find the strength.
I love it. So I have a two-part question. What do you love most about boxing, and what do you hate? A lot of people hate about boxing.
Man, I just love. I'll start with the love. I just love combat. I love it. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but for me, I love almost getting hit. I love the punch coming this close and making it miss and countering back with something. I love to feel like when I'm in the ring, I feel spark. So I love to feel their energy leaving when I'm working with them. So when I'm boxing them, I'm sapping that energy. I hit them with a body shot and I hear them breathe. It seems like their breath comes in my body and makes me stronger.
It's like you stole the soul, right?
Yeah, you're solid too. He showed me some shadow boxing. I'm like, oh man, he don't look like no coach. He's like a whole fighter right now, man.
So no, when just elaborating on your last point, when you hit that body and it's like they soul go right into your glove.
Right, and you feel like a few more seconds and you shall be mine.
yes. Talk your shit, coach. Talk your shit. Hey, so aside of this next fight inside of boxing, for the bigger picture, what's next for you inside of boxing and what's next for you outside of boxing? Not playing specifics on like the fight, but as far as vision, as far as goals, as far as leveling up, what's next for you inside of boxing and what's next for you outside of boxing, be it a personal level or financial level or any of the above?
Okay. Well, inside of boxing, I'm looking to get my own gym. I linked up with a guy here in Illinois. So he has a martial arts studio, but he wants to add boxing. So he brought me onto the team. So I'll be actually coaching out of a new location. And so that's big for me. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a big step for me. So that's pretty much my main thing. Outside of boxing, my kids. I got kids. My daughter, she's going to a new school for her senior year. She's going to a prep school. She's a good basketball player. So we're gonna see how that pans out.
She gonna get busy. She gonna step on shit. She gonna get busy. She gonna step on shit. It's the last year.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so I like to keep it replay friendly. We're gonna be speedballing the last of these couple questions out of here because it's fight night. Before we even get into these last couple questions, though, we also obviously have to be respectful of your time. But the first thing before we get into that. We got Bud in the thumbnail. I mean, who you got winning in Bud and EJ? I'm curious.
Man, well, you know what? It's crazy. You know, I've had fighters or a fighter that fought against Earl Spence, so I'm real familiar with Earl, and I know Terrence Crawford, and having competed against Earl, I think Terrence has the skill to give him problems. I think it's a matchup. It's I think
He's
Crawford is
Team
a
Bud.
power
I'm
fighter.
Team EJ.
Are you yeah, all right? Look, put that fist
No,
bump.
but
Yeah, bro.
fist bump.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. No, continue to elaborate on your point because I agree. What Bud has can give EJ problems, but elaborate. So are you picking Bud to win this, or was that the end of your point? Because I think you got more to that. I think you got more to that.
Well, you're right. You're right. I'm going with Bud, and I'll say I'm going with him because he has the ability to hit you with punches that you can't see. So
Yes,
he creates the angle, and then
yes.
he's throwing bombs and essentially running you into a shot. And
Sneaky,
where, uh,
sneaky, sneaky.
sneaky with it, sneaky
Yeah.
with it. And then he'll switch up southpaw, and then he'll run you into some shots. So you end up kind of outside of your comfort zone, looking for where these shots are coming from, which opens
Now
up
they're
holes in your game.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now they're coming from a different angle. So that I love that pick. I gotta just rebuttal a little bit since I'm Team BJ, because y'all two Team Bud. Just know, last nigga tried to switch on EJ was Leonard Boondu, and you see what happened. I know.
He was
I
this
quit. I
tall.
quit. Leonard Boondu.
I was about to say little Cheerio boom
I
dudes,
quit
man.
though. He did a little bit. I quit though. Hey, so what other? You have a
Yeah.
question?
I
Sorry.
do have a question. It was about your fighters. Yeah. How do you deal with fighters in weight? Like, how do you deal with a fighter being on weight, coming, showing up, like being professional, and just because weight has always been one of my issues. Like trying to
Oh
cut
yeah.
that move 5, 10 less, 5, 10 pounds, always been like tough for me pretty much. How do you deal with that with your fighters pretty much?
Well, I don't leave it up to them. I'm real involved in their weight loss because I want them to be strong in there. I want them to lose weight the right way. So I'm real big into that. So a week before the fight, we stop sparring and we focusing only on weight. So we focusing on weight as we're preparing, but that last week it's only weight, and that we're very strict on the diet. We have high calorie workouts that we use, and I actually keep them hydrated. So they losing weight. As long as they are within 10 to 7 pounds, we're on weight a week out.
Okay, so that
So
that is
you're a genius
yeah.
actually. You're not one of your fighters are like, oh, you're not on weight. Why are you not on weight? It's like,
Right.
no, you're actually there. Like, that's perfect, man.
Absolutely.
Going into the fight because there's nothing like the conditioning they have when you see them peaking and you're trying to sustain that peak without having them sparring too close to the fight or having them going over and beyond. So how do you sustain that peak and walk that fine line without overworking them or underworking them?
Oh yeah, man, good question. That's
Thank
that's a
you.
that's a challenge right there. That's actually a challenge because they peaked up and they really fight ready at that point. And
Right.
so you got to kind of it's almost like riding a bull. You want to keep them. You got to stay on the bull. You got to steer it, direct it. So
Yeah.
I do a lot of pad work. So I keep
Yeah.
them sharp. I try to mimic the opponent all that week. Whenever we do pad work, if it's a southpaw, I'm mimicking what that southpaw is doing, and we're throwing a high level of punches, a high number of punches. So whether we would throw a 6-3, we throw a 6-3, 6-3, 6-3, or a 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. So we overemphasizing the single combination that we're going to use.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's gems. If you're a boxer, he just told you how to sustain your peak in the hardest week of training, that final week that you have after you done sparring, right? You don't have OGs to tell you unless you have high IQ coaches like we have here. Before we get into how they can follow you, how they can support you, Coach, do you have any wise words or any um, uh, thing you want to share with the people? Any thoughts you want to leave on the people's mind? Because you've given us a lot of gems. I mean, from being a genuine coach, from being, you know, someone who's meticulous about style. For you've given us a lot of different things. Is there anything you want to leave the people on? It could be a story, it could be wise words, it could be a quote.
Okay, well, you know what? I would say be true to yourself. This is one thing that I live by. Be true to yourself. Be true to who you are, because you can always be yourself. If you're an imitation, trying to be somebody else, when times get hard, you're gonna crumble.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Always be true to your authentic self, and then speak clear and directly. You know, things that you don't want to do. Learn how to say no to people. It's one of the biggest things across the board. You know, we do a lot of stuff and, you know, we don't want to. So, especially for you fighters, you got friends, you got people who hang on to you. They respect you as a fighter, but they don't respect what you do to be a fighter. They don't understand. How could they understand? So
Right.
learn to say no to the parties. Learn to say no to the women. Make boxing your focal point. And if it's going to go, if boxing is your dream and you looking at going all the way, learn how to say no to anything that's going to be a hindrance to you getting to that place. Because it's tough getting there, but you got the first person you got to beat, the person you got to be undefeated against is yourself.
Yes. Yes, sir. Excellent word.
Man, I needed
Excellent
to hear
words.
that for sure.
Any question? Final question.
Man, no, I really appreciate just coming in. I'm sorry for coming in late, so I'm gonna rewatch this and hear what I've missed and everything. Can't wait to talk to you again, fully and see your well, if I can't see your fighters fight, then just hearing about how it went. You know what I mean? I just can't wait to just hear about your journey, man. Continue.
And we're gonna be
Appreciate
working with
it.
you in the future. You know we're gonna be working with you in the
I
future,
would love
Coach.
to, man. I'm not
Let's
gonna lie.
let's
Absolutely.
let's make it
Absolutely. We
happen,
got
Coach.
to.
Because I appreciated the note you gave me after my last fight. I was telling the people before you got on that there's certain advice you take with a grain of salt, and there's certain advice you give a lot of like weight to,
Yeah,
and
sticks with
the
you.
the notes that you were giving me were things that I didn't even think about in game planning for the fight. So it was
Oh, man.
nuanced. It was very intelligent. But before we get out of here, where can they follow you? How can they support you?
I'm about to
And
follow you, man.
remind them again about October 19th.
All right.
19th.
Man,
Sorry, August 19th.
August 19th. Well, first of all, I thank you guys for having me on here. You know, it's great to me that somebody even respects the opinion and the thoughts that you have. So shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. And even how you were humble after that fight, you know, you were able to take that advice, and I could tell that you were soaking it in, and that it was going to be something that you would apply to what you do. So I appreciate you for that. And so,
Well, thank
yeah,
you.
man, I love that. So uh, it that's the thing for me. So just to add in, that's the thing that keeps me going. When I see fighters that want to learn, want to grow, and have the ability, it lights the fire under me. I could train 24 hours when somebody has that
Yes, sir.
in their makeup. But you can follow me. I think I'm at Chop Sizzle on Instagram, and on Facebook I'm just at Mark Cheers, Chears. Appreciate you guys having me, man. I love what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. I
Yes,
think you
sir.
guys have a great future in this. Good things are going to come your way.
We appreciate that more than you can ever know. Coach, you blessed us today. You gave us nothing but gems. You blessed us with your time. It's fight day. We ain't going to hold you up. You got a
Yeah,
pregame for your fight
yeah, you
parties.
gotta
It's time to
turn up.
turn up, man.
Let's
Enjoy
go,
your
bud.
game. Both of y'all
Let's go,
guys.
bud.
Man, what did
I
EJ
hit up
say?
Bernie, man. I gave Bernie some words of encouragement.
Now, Bernie is his guy, but you know what we do with Bud over here? We smoking Bud. Hey, man, I love you, man. We gonna fuck with you behind the scenes. Everybody, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Skywalker, Opulent LD, Mr. Sheldon, my C's, everybody.
Love you guys. Appreciate you.